So the other types of drug which is stimulants, okay, dia adalah opposite side of the depressant tadi. So such as the example of this drug is amphetamines and methamphetamines, often inject intravenously, cause an initial rush followed by an intense feeling of pleasure, followed by a period of exhaustion and prolonged period of depression. So ni adalah kesan mengambil amfetamin dan methamphetamine. So kebiasaannya dengan kaedah injection. So dia akan stimulate dia punya excited tu, the feeling pleasure, and then dia akan rasa exhaustion lah. Dan akhirnya dia menyebabkan depression. Okay, so the other one is cocaine. So extracted from the leaf of erythroxylin coca, it will cause increased alertness and vigor, accompanied by the suppression of hunger, fatigue and boredom. So ni dia punya efek lah. Okay, kesan dan efeknya mengambil cocaine. And the other one is crack. Is a cocaine mixed with baking soda and water, then heat, often smoke in glass pipes, and like cocaine stimulate the brain pleasure center. Sesama dia menjadikan siapa-siapa yang ambil stimulan ni, dia akan jadi aktif lah, hyperactive lah. So bila jadi hyperactive, semuanya pun tinggi. So dia pun akan tak boleh kontrol lah, dia aman sebenarnya bila diorang mengambil drugs. So the other one is the club drugs or synthetic drug. So GHB and rohypnol are the central nervous system depressant that are often connected with drug facilitate sexual assault, rape and robbery. Okay, so this is the types of drug yang boleh menyebabkan inilah kesannya kepada sexual assault, rape and robbery. And then methylene dioxymethamphetamine, also known as MDMA or ecstasy. So ecstasy tadi dia selain daripada hallucinogenic, dia juga di bawah club drug, synthetic drug. So it's a synthetic mind altering drug that exhibit many hallucinogenic and amphetamine like effect. So dia gabungkan dua ni hallucinogenic dan juga amphetamine. So it will enhance the self-awareness and decrease the inhibitions. However, seizures, muscle breakdown, stroke, kidney failure and cardiovascular system failure often accompany chronic abuse. Okay, so ni adalah kesan dia lah, kesan mengambil ecstasy. Okay, the next one is ketamine. Is primarily used as a veterinary animal anesthetic that in human cause euphoria and hallucination. So ini ketamine ni pun boleh menyebabkan the person become hallucination. Okay, sebab dia digunakan untuk anesthetic for animals kan. So it also can cause impaired motor functions, high blood pressure, amnesia and mild respiratory depression. Okay. Okay, the last one is the anabolic steroid. Anabolic steroid. So yet another category of drug is the anabolic steroid. So these are synthetic compounds that are chemically related to the male sex hormone testosterone. So anabolic steroids are often abused by individuals who are interested in the accelerate the muscle growth. So dia ke arah lelaki lah. So the side effect includes unpredictable effect on mood and personality, depression, diminished sex drives, halting bone growth and liver cancer. So ni semua dia punya kesan. Okay, so the next part in this chapter, which is the identification of drugs. Tadi kita dah belajar tentang types of drug, ada 6. Okay, so to identify the drug, basically the forensic scientists determine the identity of drug by using two types. The first one is screening test. This is the first one, which is the preliminary test used to reduce the number of possible identities of an unknown substance. So this is the preliminary test untuk kita kurangkanlah possible identities untuk kita punya unknown substance tu lah. Maksudnya kita nak kelaskan dia. Tadi dia ada berapa banyak kelas. So untuk kita tahu dia kelas yang mana, substance apa yang ada dalam tu, so kita buat dulu preliminary test. Okay, for example is the color test and microcrystalline test. And then the second one is the confirmation. So confirmation is a single test that specifically identifies a substance. So this confirmation will confirm what is the substance in the drugs. So this signify exactly what the unknown substance lah. Maksudnya dia yang paling paling tepat lah boleh nyatakan apakah compound yang ada dalam drugs tu atau dalam diri orang tu yang adalah drugs. Okay, types of drug yang kita dah belajar tu lah. Okay, so the identification of drugs are performed. The first one qualitative and the second one is quantitative. So this is more kepada analisis lah. Bila kita buat analisis mesti ada kualitatif dan juga kuantitatif. So kuantitatif akan support kualitatif, kualitatif pun support data kuantitatif. Okay, so qualitative is a descriptive test need to perform first to tell what types of drug present. So dia adalah descriptive testing lah. For example, an unknown sample may be determined to contain heroin or quinine. So the quantitative is the amount. So daripada yang atas ni, kualitatif ni, kita just nak tahu ada apa dalam tu saja. Apa dia, tapi kita tak tahu berapa banyak dia, amount dia kita tak tahu, tapi kita tahu kehadiran heroin dan quinine. So from the quantitative analysis, the test is done second to tell how much drug is present. For example, a sample may be determined to contain 10% heroin and 90% of quinine. So ni adalah beza antara qualitative and quantitative. I think you all already familiar with this because you already learn about the analytical, right? So in analytical you learn about the qualitative and quantitative analysis. Okay, there are 5 tests used to determine drugs. So the first one is the color test and microcrystalline crystalline test, which is under screening test. Screening or preliminary test. After this preliminary test, it will undergo either chromatography test, spectrophotometry test and mass spectrometry test. So this is the method for confirmation test. To confirm what is the types of the drugs basically identified from the sample. Okay, the first one is the color test. The first one is color test for the preliminary. So small amount of chemical in spot plate. So dia akan letakkan chemical kat sini, and then dia akan tambahkan drop color. Drop color akan ditambahkan. Drop color reagent. Bila dia tambah drop color reagent, dia akan tengok kat sini color yang berubah. Contoh jadi warna merah. Bila berubah jadi warna merah, dia ada kandungan apa. Berubah jadi warna purple, contoh jadi kandungan apa. So dia identify the drugs tu adalah melalui perubahan color. Okay, like this. So when mixed with the certain reagent, a drug can produce a characteristic of color. So contoh dia jadi warna merah. So warna merah ni characteristic of what drug? Characteristic of what drug? So dia adalah, and then useful for field investigator. So biasanya kalau color testing ni boleh terus pergi kepada tempat kejadian, boleh terus dapat result dia, tak payah nak kena masuk lab dulu ke, kan makan masa kan. So color test ni dia boleh buat secara langsung lah di tempat kejadian. Okay, color test screening for marijuana, for example. Okay, untuk screen marijuana. So dia punya method adalah di Duquesnoy Levine color test. So THC screening. Tadi THC ni adalah kandungan dalam marijuana tu yang menyebabkan hallucination kan. So dia ada hallucinogenic properties. So this screening menggunakan kaedah Duquesnoy Levine color test. Jadi bila dia drop kan to the vegetation, turns into purple. So bila turns into purple, maksudnya dia adalah adalah kandungan marijuana tu. Okay, kandungan THC ni lah dia menunjukkan THC. So THC ni ada dalam marijuana. Okay, this is the example, the types of test for color test. This is the type of color test, and then what the chemical, and then the result mean. So for example, Marquis color, dia akan masukkan formaldehyde and concentrated sulfuric acid. So heroin and morphine and most opium based drug will turn the solution purples. Amphetamines will turn into orange brown. Okay, bila campur dengan these chemicals, dia akan berubah warna macam ni, dan ini menunjukkan dia adalah apa types of drugs itu. Okay, so this is the other example.